I grew up in a family of 7 people, including my mother and my father. Between me, the youngest, and my oldest sister, there is a 13-year age gap. This age gap made us very different people, and we didn't always have a lot in common. But one thing that we did have in common was being taught the ideal of trust from our parents, and how important it was to have trust with one another and to never betray that trust. However, my parents' teachings didn't always work. My brother was a prime example of that. At the very least, once every other night, at the very most, multiple times a night, my brother took it upon himself to molest me as a young child. And this kind of trauma in a family doesn't help anything. It started to get a lot of feelings of distrust and dishonesty within our family ranks. And I, however, still had some optimism left in me. I thought that the one bad egg was gone. He didn't determine what the rest of my family was like. So I kept my head held up high and tried to move forward. This all clear that I thought I had wasn't the case. About a year later, my dad decided that it was time for him to pick up and leave town, that he needed a fresh start. One of the people in my life that I thought was a preacher and a purveyor of trust decided to lie to my family, break that trust, move halfway out of the country. And that destroyed everything. There was no more optimism. There was no more, maybe this is better now. I thought that, I had nothing left because the two only other men in my family had broken me down, and hurt me in ways that I never thought I'd be hurt. And I harbored all these negative feelings, and all these feelings of anger, distrust, and sadness, and they tormented my brain for what was days. Days turned into weeks, into months, into years. And I couldn't take it anymore, and I broke. At the age of 14, I took an attempt on my own life. Because I thought this life, for me, it was too much. There was nothing that could make this life better. So why not leave it while I still could? Thankfully, I was not successful in this attempt. But I was completely and utterly broken. I was at the lowest point in my entire life. In all this chaos, there are very few things that made me happy. But one of them was my band and my music. And one of my bandmates asked me to go on a youth retreat with her, and I accepted. I didn't really know what it was about, but I accepted. So I sat in a gym with about 40 other high school kids, and I saw something that blew my mind, something I never thought I'd see. People around each other showing genuine trust in one another. And it was trust that couldn't be broken. These people had hardships in their lives, just like I did, but were still trusting one another. And I had to find out how, because this to me was something that was completely unbelievable. It turned out that this youth retreat was a retreat called Footsteps, and it was a Christian retreat. And I felt God's presence for the first time in my life. I felt God's love for me, and that even though I was a broken human being with so many flaws and imperfections, that He loved me anyway, loved me enough to have someone pay my price, someone to take the punishment that I tried inflicting on myself and that I thought I deserved was already taken care of. I felt this love for me, and I broke down and I wept. And on March 22nd, 2014, I gave myself to Jesus Christ. If 40 other people in my age, 40 of my peers, could genuinely trust each other and trust in Him, then there was absolutely no reason that I could too. Although the last 4 years of my life have been far from perfect since these events, through God I've regained the ability to love, be able to look at things with optimism, and most importantly, be able to trust again.